Hey folks, LA Little here, TA Today. I was asked to look at the transport, so I'm going to take a look at that today. I want to remind you up front here, you guys are the ones that support these videos, keep me doing this, so if you like what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. There's an alert, you can hit that as well. I'm bringing these things to you doing neoclassical technical analysis, right, which is very simple, very straightforward. You don't have all that stuff on your charts, and so a lot of people look at this and it's either wow, what the hell is he doing, doesn't make any sense, or they say wow, this is clean, this is nice. Well, of course I'm in the latter camp since I introduced it myself, but you can take it as it is. It's pretty accurate. I mean, most of the time what I tell you eventually does work out. Let's look at the transports here. I'm going to take a long-term view first. And what you have here, you can just look at this chart, these last few swing point highs and lows. The move is up, right? The trend is up. And you can go confirm that over here. It tells you, right? Long-term trend is higher, bullish. Sideways on the intermediate term. So if we go in here and look at this, and I'm going to have to scoot this over just a little bit. If you look at this is sideways, and it looks pretty sideways, right? I mean, it's kind of a range that's going on in here. And if you go down here, this one says bearish. Now, it's still bearish because you had the move down. Let me clean it up. You had to move down, right? Bounce. You broke swing points. Broke a lot of them. That's a lot of damage. You have to repair it. And so that's what it's been doing on the way back up. How do you know that it's actually going to continue? Well, the first thing you look at anytime you break a swing point is to create something called a bearish retest regen. And these are bearish retest regens. So in other words, when you come back up to them, that's where you would expect the pressure points to be, the supply to be. Those are the tests. Those are the ones that give you information. And so the information you got here at this price point in particular is it told you that this thing wants to go higher. It's no longer down. It's either sideways or it's turning. The last one was here. That was the gap up there. Folks, this is going to break this swing point high, and it's going to try and climb all the way back to the top. That's where this is going on this time frame. Okay, so the backdrop here is the transportation index is working its way back up. And it's working its way back up to the top of the range when you look at it on this time frame, right? You kind of have, the bulk of everything that traded is about right there, and you kind of ignore the tops and the bottoms, right? I mean, that's kind of the bulk, right? There's a bunch of stuff that happened back here. There's a few, somewhat a bunch, right, that took place there. A little spike here. But you're going back up to break that spike, try to go back to the top probably. Now, the thing that's really interesting is this stock has not stock, but this sector has not broken this swing point high. It broke this one, right? That was this break that you see with this arrow here. There was another swing point high here that was broken on this arrow. This arrow itself broke this one. You can just see that the trend over the past, what is this, 2.5 years, has been higher, right? It's been working its way back up. You can also see that here on a this is the long term. You can see that here that this is short term. You can see that here there's a suspect and a potential. Suspect says that this thing's activated, so it's going to try to hit 67.53, and that's just under these. Actually 67.53 is just under those two, so it's almost there, and that's where it's going. And I'm doing this 8:22, market just opened, so this is the way it looks right now. Okay, let's get into the component parts. 50% of this weighting of this particular sector is just in 4 components, right? You got UNP, which is the largest, Uber, which is the next. Those are about 35% of the weighting. Then you got UPS and the FDX, the air carriers, well, mail carriers, if you will. So let's take them just one by one. We'll start with the strongest one, or not the strongest, but the highest weighted one. And if we look at it, you can see all the ABCD structures, lots of them, right? If you just glance down this row, you know, which ones are activated, which ones are actually in progress. This one, suspect, here's another one, long-term, both of them. 260 on one long-term, 404 on the other one. Well, 260 is not that far away, right? It's very close. So 260 is probably right in there. We can see 249. This one's 248 actually. 260 is a little bit higher. So it's probably going to break the swing point. To get to that ABCD, it's going to have to. And there's the 258 there on the long term. 260 is just over that. And a lot of times that's the way these ABCD structures work. Because, you know, the ABCD is really just a weighted up and down. And it's a one-to-one. Okay, so this looks fine. It looks like it wants to go higher, right? This is definitely not something I'd be shorting. This is something I'd be trying to buy. I don't see any issues here. You know, it's sideways extended. It's going to break that swing point high. That's what it's just going to do. You're starting to get towards the topper end of this one, but still got plenty of room to run higher. So that one looks positive, looks like it's going higher. That's going to take the index higher, the sector higher. Look here, you got suspect, confirmed, suspect, all of them, long-term, intermediate, short-term. This is Uber. This wants to go higher just looking at this. If you look at the chart, it looks the same. What did it do? Remember, anytime you break, this is a break of a swing point high, you got to retest, regen. Where is it? It's this bar. What did it do? Come back in, retest it. What is it doing? It's regenerating higher. That's what it's supposed to do. That's classic, neoclassical. And you got a swing point high here, 76. It's going to get eclipsed. This is going higher. So you got 35% of the sector going higher. Let's go to the next one, UPS. UPS, and let's see. Well, this one's in a much different down. You know, this is downtrend, right? It's strong downtrend, bearish, 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 all across the board. The only thing I would say that's positive is you're back here on the long term. You're back here on a retest regen after way more than 6 bars, right? So this is probably going to get bought in this area. And so this is probably done on the downside, or at least for a while, right? This thing's going to get a big bounce. And you can actually see that here just on candlestick charting. Big volume push, breaks, you go under it, you can't get lower. That's a test of that low. It wants to try and work its way back. Where's it going to go? Retest regens. How far can it go? Well, it can go up into this area here. So that's UPS. And let's take the last weighted one, FDX. And so this is the other carrier. And this one looks pretty bullish, actually, just looking at this. It has one activated right there, suspect. And if I look over here at the cube, it's not extended, starting to get extended here. So this can work a little bit higher. Yeah, I suspect this one's going to work its way up. It's tested into gaps held. You know, when I look at this, this is not crazy bullish, but I suspect it's going to try to get to the top of that anchor bar. And looks fine. So when I look at the sector, it wants to go higher. Can't argue with it. That's the way it looks. All right, hope that helps. Take care. See you next time.